story, like imagined a time when art and science collided and building branches structure. They were poems in stone. And you might be familiar with the paintings Mona Lisa and The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci, or maybe the sculpture David by Michelangelo. These artists all lived during a period known as the Renaissance. So welcome to the Renaissance, a period of incredible artistic and architectural revival. The Renaissance was a period that lasted from the 14th to the 17th centuries Common Era, marking the transition from the Middle Age to the modern era. In this video, we'll discuss key features, analyze iconic structures, and explore the enduring impact this era had on the built environment. So, get ready for a visual feast as we explore the stunning beauty and innovative techniques of this golden age. So, let's go! Let's go!
The birth of the Renaissance. In 1347, the Black Death struck Europe, killing most of its population, but it boosted the economy, prompting the aristocracy to invest in fine arts and scientific performances. The Dark Ages ended with the destruction of Rome, prompting the Florentines to create a new gold-based currency that was used for trade throughout the world. The rise of the city of Florence was the beginning of the Renaissance.
The spread of the Renaissance throughout Europe. In 1453, after the monumental fall of the Constantinople to the Ottoman Empire, many scholars from the East sought refuge in Italy. These intellectuals brought with them a wealth of books and manuscripts filled with classical Greek wisdom and knowledge. This influx of ancient texts greatly contributed to the development of Renaissance ideas and values throughout Europe. The arrival of these scholars and their precious works sparked a renewed interest in classical learning, which fostered a cultured and intellectual revival, influencing art, science, philosophy, and literature across the continent.
The Greek Renaissance in Italy was centered on Leonardo da Vinci, who created some of the most famous works of art of all the time, such as the Mona Lisa, The Last Supper, and the Vitruvian Man. During this time, Donato Bramante created works of high Renaissance architecture that brought back the classical temple architecture of ancient times, with its columns and domes. He also helped design the famous Santo Peter's Basilica in Rome.
The end of the Renaissance era. The Renaissance ended in Italy in 1527 when the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V attacked Rome. It continued to influence the work of notable Italian painters like Tintoretto, Sophonis Banjusella, and Paolo Veronese, who were active during the middle and late 6th century.
So, have you ever wondered what was the influence of the previous era on the Renaissance? So, architecture reflects its time. Starting from the Renaissance, which glorified classical and humanism, architectural styles has transformed. The Baroque was grand, the Neoclassical was rational, and the Modern was functional. The Renaissance laid the foundation with an appreciation of classical beauty, harmonious proportions, and the human connections to the environment, which subsequently influenced the development of the subsequent architecture.
Have you ever wondered what are the impacts of Renaissance on subsequent architecture? The Renaissance witnessed a fierce competition between the power of the church and the monarchy. The church built magnificent basilicas like St. Peter's to solidify its dominance, while kings constructed opulent palaces to assert their authority. However, the emergence of humanism, with its spirit of inquiry and the elevation of humanity, began to erode the church's dominance. Renaissance architecture, blending classical elements with new innovations, reflected this competition. The grand buildings of that era served not only as places of worship, but also as symbols of power and expressions of humanist values.
Statues of gods and goddesses were a crucial element in Renaissance architecture. They adorned buildings such as temples, churches, palaces, and public buildings. Beyond serving as decoration, these statues also functioned to narrate mythological and historical tales, convey religious and humanist values, strengthen the structure of buildings, and foster a connection between humans and the divine world. And the one behind me here is the statue of Aphrodite. As the goddess of love and beauty in Greek mythology, the statue of Aphrodite often took center stage in architecture, particularly in buildings associated with beauty, love, or fertility.
The Last Supper is one of the most famous and most studied paintings in the history of art. Leonardo da Vinci's masterpiece depicts the sacred moment in the Gospels when Jesus Christ shared the Last Supper with his 12 disciples before his crucifixion. The painting is not only stunning in its technical beauty, but also rich in symbolism and deep meaning. This painting depicts the moment when Jesus announces that one of his disciples will betray him. The disciples' varying reaction from shock to fear to sadness create a powerful and compelling drama. The bread and wine that Jesus shared have sacred meaning as representations of his body and blood. This marks the institution of the Eucharist in Christianity, where believers receive bread and wine as symbols of participation in the body and blood of Christ. Leonardo uses a unique triangular composition to emphasize the figure of Jesus as the center of attention. Strong diagonal lines lead towards the figure of Jesus, underlining the importance of the moment. The disciples' facial expressions are detailed and varied, conveying a range of human emotions. Each face tells a story and provides a rich psychological dimension to the painting. Judas, Jesus' betrayer, is often depicted apart from the rest of the group, and his hand is seen reaching for a bag of money. His position and gesture make him stand out and become the focus of attention.
The painting Euro by Giovanni Paolo Panini depicts a tribute to the grandeur of Rome by showcasing the city's iconic monuments, both intact and in ruins. This work is connected to the Renaissance era because it reflects the renewed interest in classical Greek and Roman culture, which was at the heart of Renaissance. Like Renaissance artists, Panini uses realistic perspective techniques and emphasizes the monumental architecture of Rome, reviving classical ideas in an idealized manner. The painting also reflects Rome's significant influence as a culture center, a theme that became especially important since the Renaissance.
Classical, this painting is inspired by classical statutes, reflecting the ideal proportion also applied in Renaissance architectural design. The elegant pose of Venus depicts aesthetic values similar to building structure of the time. Renaissance architecture often contains deep symbolisms similar to the symbols in Botticelli paintings. Ornaments and motifs relate to mythology such as seasons and wine, also create a connection between art and space. This painting was probably commissioned by the Medici family, who were also important patrons in the architectural development of Florence. The aspect of Venus thus in architecture as coined by Vitruvius reflect the harmony and beauty to be achieved in building design. Although it is difficult to discuss objectively between an architecture is often associated by ideal and harmonious proportion, as in the artwork The Birth of Venus.
The Mona Lisa, an iconic painting by Leonardo da Vinci, turns out to have a close relationship with the world of architecture. The techniques used, such as depth, harmonious proportion, and lighting, all refer to the golden ratio principle. Although no building was directly inspired by it, the artistic principle in the Mona Lisa, such as perspective and proportion, become the basis in architectural engineering drawings and building design. This work teaches us that art and architecture share the same visual language, complementing and inspiring.